Welcome, good morning, good evening, most likely afternoon, or doesn't matter what time you're watching this. Welcome to another deadline stream here at Interanatre. And I mean, we have two games starting out. Game week 4, we have Chicago Fire against Montreal, and also we have DC United against Miami. So let's check the lineups, make some final choices before the start of these games. We have about 15 minutes before that first deadline, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at the lineups. Well, this is my current team, our current team here at Interanatre. I mean, I think our biggest question right now is who are we gonna captain? There's obviously the obvious choices like Thiago Almada, Gil, even Enrique Puig. Well, I gotta learn how to say it, but I think it's a very nice game week to maybe even try to go for a differential. So far in this game week we are at a rank, where are we now, the viewpoints? Yep, we're still at 424 from last week. So I mean, it's I would say an important game week to try to get into the Champions League, the extra Champions League tournament for this game. But let's talk about the lineups. I think I have them ready. There we go. So interestingly, I mean, nothing much has changed for, oops. Okay, I cannot even move side to side. But let me just tell you, Brady, well, you cannot see, but Chicago's defense is Brady on the goalkeeper position. Left back, Gasper, Chichos, and Salquist are the center backs, and Arigoni as the right back. And then you can see the whole team next to them. As of right now, I have on my bench Brady and also Shaqiri, because I think Shaqiri with any, I don't know, any just free kicks, maybe in a penalty, he's gonna be the one taking it. So, and then at 6.4 I think he is still. Yeah, Shaqiri 6.9, so he could also be due a, let's see, no, he could get a downgrade if he misses. No, I mean, it's we still have time to change things, but I don't know. I have a good feeling that Chicago Fire at home, even though Montreal have been playing very well. I mean, they beat Inter Miami last week, but we'll see. For now, we're gonna stick with Shaqiri. And Montreal, I mean, they kind of look the same from last week. What I'm very interested about is that they're not playing Martinez or Yankov. Or at least I've heard he's pretty good. But, I mean, yeah, you can see here. The only thing you cannot see on the screen is that Sirois is the goalkeeper for Mr. Not Thibaut Courtois. What's his first name? Laurent Courtois. But, okay, let's take a look at DC United. Okay, defense-wise, so goalkeeper, you have Bono, Pedro Santos, Macbeth, Bartlett, and Herrera. And then you can see the midfield. Benteke is one of those questions whether he's gonna bang or not. Well, score, better said. But at 8.5 million, I mean, I think we do have the budget this week for somebody like Benteke. No, but I feel that Georgios Giacomakis and even Cucho are better choices than Benteke. And Joveljic, I mean, I feel Galaxy are playing better than DC United, so I'm gonna stick right now for Joveljic. Benteke is still a good option. He did, a hat-trick on the first game week, and of course he didn't play last week because they were on a bye. But interesting option, definitely a differential. Let's see how much he's owned by right now. So we checked not the points per million, ownership. Benteke at 10%, so 10% of the game, 10% of 15,000 players have Benteke on their team. But the most selected one is still MESSI. Oh, you can't even see that on the screen. Can I move it? No, I gotta zoom in and move. If you're watching this video, which you probably aren't, but you have about 10 minutes to get rid of MESSI from your team, because he's not in the squad, as we're gonna check now. Miami lineup: Gresso, Campana, and Taylor make the front three. I think the most interesting question, well, dilemma for this, first game week. I mean, first match day. The first few games of this match day 4 is Gresso is playing up top as the right wing back. Well, right wing. So, I mean, he's 8.5 million, almost 9. Let me take a look. And yeah, he's 8.5 million. Average score of 6 points. Owned by 16% of the game. Damn. I gotta show you all. There you go. These are the most selected defenders for this weekend. Jordi Alba is on the bench, so if you're watching this video, which you're probably not, Jordi Alba is not starting, so get him out of the team. And Robinson, well, that's still Sunday, that's tomorrow. Yeah, so Gresso is an interesting choice. Do we have the money for Gresso? Let's check. I do have the money for Gresso. He is owned. Let's see his last scores. He got 1 point in game week 3, but he got 14. The thing with Gresso, he's not playing the 90 minutes. He hasn't played the 90 minutes once in his last 4 games. And of course, we gotta add the CONCACAF Champions Cup to that, game time that Gresso has had. Damn, that's a good one. I mean, Gresso last year, amazing. But right now, Inter Miami is just very versatile. In the sense that they can just, like anything can happen, in my opinion, with Miami. I mean, they're a good team. They have very good players, of course. But, I don't know. They're playing away after a tough midweek game against Nashville. Thankfully, I guess for them, they won that game. Did they win? Yeah, they did. But yeah, let's keep going with the items. Gomez, Busquets, Redondo. Another one. Diego Gomez. Oh, you can't even see it. Come on, Safari. Diego Gomez. You can see his picture, but another interesting player. And again, he's still very cheap. I think he's 6 million now, but a very good choice as well. Ooh, I still have Gresso on my team. Let me. Do I take the risk? The thing is, I think I don't want to spend too much because I want to. Who did I have? I had somebody from. Where are you? Where is Sporting Kansas City? I had Davis, 5.9%, 5.7 million. Sorry, I messed up right there. Well, we're gonna keep this team. I feel very confident, at least for this first 2 games. Chicago Fire, DC United against Montreal and Miami, respectively. Then later on, we have Seattle Sounders at home. Again, Seattle haven't looked too lively, but I think at least defensively at home against Colorado, they should be able, well, hopefully, of course, it's the thing with fantasy games. You just kind of have to, be confident about your picks, confident about teams, you don't follow that much, but, there's history. You're just kind of banking on your gut feeling for these games and these players as well. But this is my team right now. There's still 5 more minutes till deadline. Let's keep talking. And Inter Miami, finally, Calendar is still playing on the goalkeeper position. On the bench, they have Luis Suarez. Of course, you can see that. This is Miami's bench right here. No MESSI. So they're going to be resting him. And I think next week is international break for most of the other football leagues. But for us, the Socceroos, we still have MLS next week. I don't know if it's gonna show me here. It won't. But we have, game week 5 upcoming next weekend. But let's see. Just do an overall recap for my team. As of now, let me record and then upload. Let's see. Let's take a look at Internatre's game week 4 lineup as of now before the deadline. Goalkeeper position, Thomas Gomez. We're doing probably a keeper-oo if it's needed. Chris Brady on the bench. Defense, Kobe Franklin. Last week he was playing on the right wing back, attacking chances somewhat, but 5 million away against New York City. who seem to be struggling at the start of the season. Toronto kept the clean sheet on their last 3 games. We're gonna hope at 5 million. I'm willing to take the risk, so we're keeping Kobe Franklin. Brooks Lennon, Atlanta against Orlando at home. Very good matchup. Lennon, even though, you know, defenders, it's just mostly about the clean sheets that we're looking for. Jake Davis, Sporting KC, drew against LAFC at away. So again, at a cheap defender, I'm okay with that because I think most of the points nowadays in this season are going to come from the midfield and also the forward line. So Jake Davis, 5.57 million. Freeman from Orlando, there were not any real select defenders that were 4 million. So we just took somebody, or we just picked somebody who was playing on that last game on Sunday, just in case we're going to do a switcheroo. Because on the bench, we have Alex Roldan, who will be playing in about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So, well, hopefully. We, of course, remember, check the lineups, please. Don't do yourself. That's like the easiest way to just keep going up the ranks, to check the lineups. Because like I said before, there's a lot of people, you know, who probably just forget about the lineups, that you can change it. They're coming from other games. And that was me. I'm still kind of new to this game. But Internatre is not new in the fantasy world. So we got to give them the best. Okay. Midfield, Ricky Puig is our first midfielder that we picked, honestly. I think whatever LA Galaxy do in the offensive line, it's going to go through Ricky Puig. So we're going to right now have the captaincy on him. Next on Carlos Hill. He did not play midweek for New England in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So he's probably going to get the 90 minutes this week. And he's playing at home against the Cincinnati side, who played, probably their best 11 against Monterrey. Again, in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. I should just call it the CCC, the Triple C. Again, Shakur playing the last game, 4 million. Just in case Shaqiri does nothing against Montreal. And lastly, Thiago Almada, very good performance, playing at home against Orlando. And forward line, Georgios Giacomakis from Atlanta. The Greek, I was gonna say God, but the Greek guy is playing at home again after a hat trick. And even though he will not, even if he does bad, he'll probably go up in price. So we're just kind of banking on that. Next one, Dejan Jovelic from Galaxy. Again, this is my third pick for the forward line, because my second pick is Cucho Hernandez. I think whatever happens, he's still, even if he doesn't score, he's probably going to get at least 6 points. And that's decent, because even some defenders or midfielders don't even, like, it's so weird. He's just getting some points. I mean, of course, we can check why, but 10.5 million at home against Red Bull. Very decent lineup. Well, fixture, should we say. So this is Internatre's game week 4 lineup. Starting 11, of course, subject to change according to lineups or, you know, switcheroos that we may have to do. But this is how we're gonna line up. So hopefully we're not making any changes. We're starting out on the first 2 games. Chicago Fire against CF Montreal. We're banking on Chicago Fire with Brady and Xherdan Shaqiri. DC United, Inter Miami, we're gonna leave it alone, even though I was very tempted for Gresso, but nah, we're fine. I think that one's gonna be probably like a 1-1 draw, and nothing happens. Well, nothing special in fantasy, at least. In Chicago Fire Montreal, I mean, I could see a 2-1 victory for CF Montreal against Chicago, but at least Chicago at home, I don't know. Hopefully they get inspired playing at home and keep a clean sheet. And Xherdan Shaqiri scores a hat trick on penalty. Anything, just scores. So this is our lineup. Thank you so much for watching another deadline stream here in the MLS Fantasy game. Of course, very different from other fantasy games because there's a system of the rolling deadlines, which is very nice, honestly. But again, lineups, very important. So we're gonna, you know, keep you updated throughout the day, probably on our social media, Instagram and TikTok, most likely TikTok. But follow us there at CF Internatre for the latest in, you know, fun in MLS Fantasy game. Also FPL, I haven't posted, but the team is still fighting. This week we're lining up with only 8 players on this blank game week 29. And Champions League, we're also in the Champions League. We are doing decently because our coach didn't do anything on the last round, but doesn't matter, something to talk about later. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next deadline stream, team selection video, and tips. Of course, we gotta start doing the tips. I forgot. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody forgot. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next video.